Joining us now is Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House, Fox News political analyst. Newt, I don't think I've seen Donald Trump as like upbeat, just having a great time in his home state, asking for people's votes. He didn't do that at the debate. He did it tonight. What's happening here in the Empire State?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think he believes he has a real chance to carry New York because of the corruption, because of the whacked liberal policies, and because of the impact of all those millions of illegal immigrants and the crime that has followed. And of course, now you have a major scandal in New York City affecting the mayor, and that's breaking at the worst possible time for Democrats. So I think that's part of it. I also think, look, this is a guy who has twice avoided being killed. Now, when you get through absorbing that, you have sort of a tremendous adrenaline rush because, as you know, Reagan, when he met with Pope John Paul II, they had both been shot and they had both survived. And they talked about what did God intend for them. And I think my guess is that President Trump now has a deeper sense of a mission and a deeper sense of having to do what's right for America because it's providential that he's still here. Certainly in the shooting at Butler, they came within a half inch of killing him. And had the agent not found the sniper, he might well have killed him. So I think the president has a sense that he's going to live his life out. He's going to take the risks, and that it liberates him. Mm-hmm. I thought he talked more about policy tonight than I've heard in a long time, which I think is good for him. On policy choices, he will literally annihilate Kamala Harris if that's how the rest of the campaign goes.
Well, Newt, I love the fact that he was there. He reminded everyone what a great state New York is. Place of innovation, the best architecture, the ports, everything about New York was leading the nation. In fact, at a time, leading the world. And so he said, I'll work with Democrats, independents. I'll work with anyone to restore this state. That is the kind of rhetoric that I think a lot of independent voters, a lot of women have been waiting to hear directly from him. And boy, I mean, he took he took whoever's marching orders on that, and he was on it tonight. Period. End of story. Newt.
Well, I think, look, he loves the state. He loves the city. He spent most of his life there. I think he has a very deep, deep affection for New York, both in the city and across the whole state. And I think he also feels that this is a divine moment in the sense that we could really turn the country around, that Biden and Harris have made such a total mess that there's an opportunity here for extraordinary change, and Trump thinks he can deliver it.
And to have fun doing it. He was having fun tonight, and that's great to see as well after these 2 assassination attempts. Newt, thank you very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.